Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Welcome to the Sun, the Welcome Estates Property Podcast. We've got a big show coming your way. I'm Aki, and as always, we are going to be joined shortly by Colin and Lisa of Welcome Estates, and they're going to be telling us everything about a pressing matter, which is the big London Excel show, A Place in the Sun Live. This event is running from May the 9th to the 11th. It's going to be a chance for all of you guys to meet the team. And before we speak to Lisa and Colin, let's have a little look at this exhibition, what it's going to be like.
The countdown is on. A Place in the Sun Live is almost here. It's the perfect opportunity to kickstart your journey towards owning a property overseas. Join us at London Excel from the 9th to the 11th of May. We can't wait to see you there.
Well, what a nice little VT there, and let's go straight into this, guys. I mean, tell us about this fantastic event that's coming up. It must be a big event in your calendar.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I've got the passport ready.
We always have a busy. I still get nervous before the shows. Do you, Colin?
A little bit, I mean, there's nothing there to scare us, but there's always that little kind of nervous spark of energy before it kicks off on 10 o'clock on a Friday morning.
I don't know if it's nerves, don't know if it's excitement. I'm a bit of a checklist fanatic, and it's like, have we got this? Have we got that? Are we going to forget this? You know, like when you're packing and you've got your family, and in the end you're like, well, anything I've not got, I can buy. It doesn't matter. I have that sort of feeling before going to a show.
And don't forget as well, Lisa, and sorry to put you under this pressure, but we've got a brand new stand this year.
Yeah, we have.
So this is the first rollout, so, we might be a little bit stressed about that as well when we get there.
Yeah, it is a new stand, a new look.
So a new design stand, it's going to stand out, and that's what you want. A new little logo here, a new frame on this podcast. It's all happening.
I know.
And this actual exhibition is the UK's largest overseas property exhibition. It is, of course, part of the hit Channel 4 show, A Place in the Sun. It's a part of this, exhibition they do, and we've been to the one in Manchester recently. What's going to make this one so special, Colin?
Well, I mean, the venue itself's absolutely gigantic. I don't think I've been to a venue like it. I mean, it's absolutely huge. I think they generally expect to see, I mean, these are three of the real showcase ones they do every year. They do Manchester, London and Birmingham. Birmingham being at the NEC. A smaller event in Dublin every year as well, which is a 2-day event. But these showcase ones are Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So we tend to see numbers of around about 5,000 to 6,000 people through the doors of a weekend.
That's a lot of talking.
That is a lot of talking.
That's a lot of people sitting
lozenges packed already.
Listen, I've seen you and Colin in talking mode, and you guys are brilliant. So people are going to get all the questions answered, aren't they, basically?
Yeah.
Still got my voice.
As well as this being a great place to gain information and anything from prices to legal assistance, everything to do with that. It's also a chance for people who watch this podcast and our other programs and to actually meet you guys, Lisa, isn't it? So it's a chance for people to come along and meet the team, and you'd welcome that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think we mentioned it last week briefly as well. These are brilliant places for people who are really considering relocation, buying property homes over in Spain. They get to meet us in person, which is such a nice feeling by the time you get here in Spain. Colin's been out with people again this week who have been watching the videos, so they know Colin before they meet Colin, really, which is great from videos, from shows. I think the ones this week are from a show, are they not, Colin?
They're from they've been to a couple of shows and they watch this channel. I've literally just been out with them today as well. So it works. Yeah. The biggest, sorry, Lisa, the biggest feedback we get from anybody who comes over and then sees the process in action is they actually admit after the event, a lot of the time, they just wouldn't have known where to start. So to be able to go under one roof and pick a team of people who you want to work with, be that your agent, be it your lawyer, be it your currency. If you need a mortgage, there's mortgage place in the sun mortgages are there as well. So you literally can get all the answers to every question you've got. And most people after the event, actually now on reflection, I wouldn't have had a clue where to start. So that's what's great for the general public.
Yeah. So if you're in and around the London area and it's coming up this weekend, you guys need to get down and you can approach Lisa and Colin and the rest of the team, and they'll be more than happy to give you some information. I believe there might also be some event-only offers. Can you shed some more light on this, guys?
Yeah, so we've got on the stand, we've got our special offers on, and there's something that's unique to Welcome Estates. We have our inspection trip, which is 3 nights. So anybody who wants to come over to Spain, and they'll get a dedicated property consultant. They'll stay in our own personal property accommodation that we have. So that's something that can be booked on the stand with us in London. We have the availability there, or what's left of availability for the rest of this year. We also have our 1% voucher that we're giving away, and that's for people who are purchasing new build properties. So as the saying goes, every little helps. Obviously, people are purchasing a lot of money, spending a lot of money on a property, but especially when they come to do a new build, they're paying that money, and them extras sometimes feel like a little bit of a kick in the teeth. Oh, I've still got to pay for lighting or this. So our voucher can help with that. And it's very popular. So again, we will be giving them out in London. So come and have a chat with us about them.
Fantastic. Colin, will you have your autograph book? Will you be signing autographs on the day, or?
I've got headshots now, Aki. So I've had a full set of headshots done and all professionally backlit.
He's not joking, is he? He's not joking.
Yeah, that's not good. But just to mention as well, we've been working with a place in the sun for a long time now, and we have a really good relationship and rapport with them. Colin actually speaks on the hub every day at the shows, so he's on the panel with other experts on different. Maybe I think it's a solicitor and another estate agent. Is Colin's normal gang, and so again, have a listen to the hub, because they're there to answer. Without that, sometimes we always get that feeling at the beginning of a show. It can be quite intimidating for people. There's all these people. Who do you speak to? Where do you start? People still have this nervousness about being sold to. I promise you, we're not going to sell you a house on the day on the stand in London. That's not what we're there for.
That would be far too difficult.
That's not what we're there for. We're there. We don't have a little credit card machine in the back room and try and getting you to buy a house. It's not. We are there for advice. We are there to help you start the journey, and maybe start part 1 to warm you up in that sort of arena would be to watch the hub shows. They're really, really good, and they're really informative. And then once you've done that, come and have a chat with us at the stand.
Fantastic. Well, guys, just to clarify and to recap, that's May the 9th to the 11th. Make sure you get down there and see Welcome Estates' new stand. Make sure you get down there to see the team. Any questions you want answering, they will answer. Is there anything I've missed out, guys, before we move on to Property of the Week?
Just so people are aware, the 9th is this weekend. We get on a plane in the morning. So it's literally this weekend in London.
All right. Fantastic. All right, there you go, guys. That's the big news, hot off the press. And next, keeping the features going in terms of hot off the press, we've got Property of the Week. Now, this is a belter. It's a lasagna apartment, and it's going to be hosted by Ashley. So let's go over and see that.
Good afternoon, I'm Ashley from Welcome Estates, and we are here in the stunning sunny Lasagna, and today we are going to view this amazing modern apartment that's got one really, really special feature. Come in and see. As promised, take a look at this incredible special feature of this property, the amazing sea views. Actually, perfect for enjoying a little glass of wine right here. not only can you enjoy the views from inside, you can enjoy them from this massive sun-soaked terrace. Just look at the size of this place. Look at those views. And here you have the beautiful modern open plan kitchen with built-in appliances. And finally, you've got the spare bedroom, which the owner is currently using as an office, but this one has got one really beautiful benefit, its own private terrace. Just look at those views. And to top it all off, this incredible property also comes with a community pool, jacuzzi and a gym. So there you have it, folks, this amazing 2-bed apartment in Lasenia with sea views, a community pool with a jacuzzi and a gym, and all of that on the market for just €375,000. And the best part, it's only 800 metres away from the beach.
Wow, I'll tell you something, that is a brilliant tour by the lovely Ashley there.
Well done,
And
Ashley.
I think she's been watching Colin in action, because I've seen some of those moves before.
She's got a bit more in the hips than I have, Aki. That's definitely an audition for a place in the sun if I've ever saw one.
No, a wonderful property there. And Lisa, what I noticed in particular, what stood out to me was that really nice communal pool, because sometimes they're a bit basic, but that is a really lovely area to hang out.
Beautiful,
and the gym's
isn't
there.
it? Mm.
Yeah.
It's not often you see them with a gym as well. It's a really, really, really nice complex. And as you can see, it's not very old. Am I right in thinking it's about 2 years old, Colin?
No, it only completed last year, so that they only handed over the last phase of the apartments last year. So it's literally a year old. So it's got all the mod cons, and it's funny, you know, a lot of people have tick lists and you know, have certain things they want, and a sea view is often one of those, and it's got a lot in it.
How long will that last online before someone really snaps that up or starts inquiring?
The thing is now, Aki, prices are going up so quickly, and you know, we get a lot of collaborators coming to us as well. So other agents who see that property who want to view for their clients. So good property in good locations is selling absolutely rapidly, irrespective of price. I mean, this literally is a 5-minute walk to Paddy's Point, to bars and restaurants. You're probably talking about a 15-minute walk down to Lasenia Beach, where you've been to yourself, Aki. So I mean, from a location perspective, you couldn't ask for any more.
So actually getting property the walking distance to the sea is not as easy as people think. It really isn't.
Okay,
so it's a brilliant property. I wouldn't. You can never say for definite, but I would not expect, with the market the way it is at this moment in time, for that to be there for long.
No.
Okay, guys, all the information, www.welcome-estates.com. Be quick on that one, because it sounds like it's going to go quick, and I can understand why. And yeah, moving onwards, we've actually got some listeners' questions. Now, we love these questions. We love having feedback from the listeners, and they do send some great questions in. So this one's from Anne Henley, and she has asked, how do I deal with the language barrier if I don't speak Spanish? Guys.
Come to the Costa Blanca. You don't need to.
Yeah, move to La Finca. I know we've touched on this, haven't we, a little bit. It really does depend on where you're going to go in Spain. The language barrier is is not that difficult if you're in the right area. Obviously, you can learn Spanish if you want to, and obviously you can be in a Spanish area if that's what you want to do. But the Costa Blanca, where we are, Costa Blanca South, La Finca, Quesada, La Zenia, Rajadas, the common language is English.
Agreed.
Okay. Thank you.
But it's a good thing to learn, though, Anne. So stick in on the Duolingo. It's definitely a good thing to learn. You will benefit from it.
Okay, thank you. And this one is from Steve. And is living in Spain full-time really affordable?
Compared to the UK?
I would say compared to most Northern European countries, yeah. When you look at those statistics recently came out, I was just talking to clients today about this. I think the average property price in Spain is something like 40% cheaper than the UK. So when you look at the property price in general, then tick. When you look at your general basket of goods from a supermarket, tick. Eating out, Lisa, you can get a menu del dia for 12-15 euros in certain places with a drink. We notice an enormous difference when we go back to the UK. You know, the cost of eating out and drinking out is phenomenal compared to what we're used to.
I had a very interesting conversation with somebody on when I was out the other night, because we was talking about there's a new restaurant that's opened on La Finca, and it's a very, very fancy restaurant, and it's rather
expensive. Belgian one, Lisa.
No, this is the one up at the clubhouse. Mesa, is it? Mesa?
Oh, yeah. The big steak, they do the big tomahawk steaks and whatever.
It is a beautiful restaurant, and at the moment, and for me, when I come back to the UK and we go to all the shows and we are eating in city centres, it is expensive. The cost of dining out in the UK is expensive. I would still, even though, and this is how you can see the difference in price, people living here are finding this restaurant really expensive. But it's
people
not.
who don't live here aren't.
No, exactly. But it's full all the time, because anybody coming from the UK on holiday, people coming from Scandinavia or the Dutch countries, they don't find it expensive because they're used to paying UK prices. But everybody here who lives here continuously, because the truth is, when you're on holiday, it's different to when you're living. You can't be on holiday all the time, so you can't go for meals every night at that sort of price. But if you're on holiday or you're having a special meal or a night out, it's different. But most people, if they're living here, they're used to going for your menu del dia, which is, we did that on Sunday. We went into the village after the horse show and we had the menu del dia. It was great. It's about 14 euros and I get a glass of beer at the same time. It's brilliant. So even expensive here, I don't feel expensive compares to prices back in the UK.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
All right. Good question there, Steve. Thank you for the answers there.
Question.
Next one from Gina Merson is, what's the best way to integrate into the local community?
I like that one. That's a nice question. So when anybody's going to move over here, the advice I would give to anybody is join as many clubs as you can. And I know we've already spoke about speaking Spanish, and a great way to integrate is go on your local Facebook groups and find your local Spanish lessons. And there's a lot of Spanish lessons run in bars of a morning where you can go and have a coffee, and go into and go and learn Spanish as well at the same time. And the nice thing about that is everybody who'll be doing that will live here, and everybody will be in the same boat as you. So bizarrely, even though you're in a foreign country, you're with people who've got much more in common than probably your neighbours back in the UK did have, because you've done exactly the same thing. I find it's easier here to socialise with people than it was in the UK. I find it much easier to integrate than it was. I don't know. Would you agree with that, Lisa?
Yeah. I think that a lot of people who move over to Spain, if we look at the group that we talk about quite a lot of people who may be selling up and they're coming into retirement and they come here to not work. So when you're in the UK, I don't know about you, and the same will be you're in a working family, Aki, you've got young children. I didn't socialise that much because I literally work to live. That's the way it works. You go to work to come home to do the routine. There wasn't as much socializing, but you've got two things here. A lot of people are moving to a different country, and also their life is changing because they're not going to be working anymore. So that itself is a bit like, well, what am I going to do? But the same in the UK, when you come to retirement, how are you going to fill your time up? And it all comes down to what's your interest, what you want to do, and what you want to get out of your retirement time now. If you like cycling, there's cycling clubs. If you like paddle, if you like bowls, if, like Colin said, learn Spanish in an environment where everybody's doing the same thing as you. They've moved to a different country. We're not saying going to Spanish school and not understand anything. Meet in a pub, meet in a community centre, somewhere where everybody's doing the same thing. We have what we call golf widow groups on the Finca. So husbands are playing golf. That's where they will meet their friends. Wives are in the bar waiting. And that's again how people integrate. I think people, would you say, Colin, integrate over hobbies and what they want to do. But there's so many people here doing the same thing that all these groups have been set up already, and they're really easy to find and access.
Yeah, and I think the obvious thing to say as well is in comparison to Northern Europe, where the weather isn't fantastic, the weather encourages it to be outside a lot more here. So people who've maybe been insular a lot of their life and not being outdoorsy all of a sudden come to Spain and find themselves in walking clubs, cycling clubs, and actually they start enjoying the great outdoors because they've got the weather to do it.
Fantastic.
If you're a young family, school, there'll be lots of families in the same situation. Birthday parties, the same thing. You tend to meet the people doing the same thing as you in Spain because there's lots and lots of people doing it. So there's lots of ways to integrate, lots.
Okay, thank you for that question, Gina. Next up, Dave has asked, are there ongoing costs after buying? I don't think he means cost of living there. I think he means legal costs or associated with the buying process.
Yeah, so once you've purchased, you're going to have what's called your IBI or your SUMA, which people from the UK would recognise that as council tax. Council tax is hugely inexpensive here in comparison to the UK. To give you an example, we pay around about €260 a year for our council tax. Whenever we say 260, people think that's a month. That's a year. If you're living on a community, so if you have things like communal pools, communal gardens, maybe security, anything like that, you're going to pay a communal fee. Again, that's dependent on your community. So that typically tends to be in our local areas somewhere around €600-700 a year, depending on the development. If you're living in Spain, obviously you're going to pay taxes in Spain if you become a Spanish tax resident. If you don't live in Spain and it's a holiday home, you will pay every year a small amount called non-residence tax. And non-residence tax is simply because you don't live here and you don't contribute to the taxation system, the Spanish government will levy a small tax on you. And again, most people we see tend to pay about €250-300 a year in what we call non-residence tax. You've obviously got your electric bill, your water bill, your Wi-Fi bill, exactly the same as you would have in the UK. The only difference is those things are remarkably cheaper than they are in the UK.
Okay.
Anything with that?
Yeah.
Just need a few more beer tokens over here to enjoy a beer in the sun.
Yeah.
That will be good. Jake has asked, can I work online or start a small business legally in Spain?
Ooh, good question. Well,
let's break it down. Can I work online? This goes back to visas again. And again, we were going to keep using the statement. We can give information, but these are the sort of questions that need to go through a visa expert. But online, as we've mentioned, depends on where you want to, where you're hired from, really. So if you online for a UK business, possibility of a nomad if you meet the criteria. Coming over, my understanding, and Colin, please correct me if I'm wrong, but getting a working visa or a self-employed, starting your own business, is difficult. That is not an easy process at this moment in time, and I haven't seen people get them at the minute. So it all depends on where you're moving from, what visa you would need, and if you have the eligibility to work while you're in Spain.
The key thing to all of that, Aki, is speak to an immigration specialist. And if you don't know one or can't find one, drop us an email and we'll put you in touch with a couple. Everything to do with that starts with legal advice, as Lisa's very correctly said.
There's too many people, there's too many different situations to really be able to answer that. Someone would need to know about you, about where you're from, what you're planning to do, who's coming with you. And then they'd be able to give you an idea of, well, actually, this visa would suit you, or maybe not. It needs one-on-one conversation.
Or on the flip side to that, if Jake was sat there with an Irish passport, the answer would be yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So you can see how that differs massively depending on where you're sat.
And I think for more answers for that question, you could go back and look at our last podcast, because there are some good there is some great legal advice on that in that podcast.
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Well, look, guys, we got through those very quickly. So you know what time of the week it is? It's time to bust some myths. We love doing this every week. So let's debunk some of these myths. Number one: foreigners can't get Spanish mortgages. Myth or fact?
Definitely a myth, that one.
There we go.
Where's the buzzer?
No, come on, Chris.
There, where's the buzzer? There we go. Okay, so that one is definitely a myth. Next.
Definitely a myth completely. You can get a mortgage if you are a foreigner as a resident, i.e. I can get a mortgage because I now have residency here, but I could get a mortgage before becoming a resident as well. If you meet the criteria for a mortgage, i.e. your incomings and outgoings like you would do in the UK, then yes, you can get. Is it different? Yes. Is what you need as a down payment a lot higher in Spain? It is, but it is possible.
Okay, and we also have this other one that's on the screen there. You have to be in Spain to find the best properties. Myth or fact?
Oh, I actually would say fact.
I would say fact as well.
I would say fact.
Yeah.
At the minute, I would.
Have you got a tick one there, Chris?
Yeah.
No, that's not a myth. That's a fact.
Yeah, I would
exactly.
at the minute.
The tick. That's the factor noise. Ding.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
At the moment in time, the way the market is at this moment in time, actually, I don't know what sound effects are going on, but actually, you can't. Looking at something online, unless you're going to put it in a basket and buy it there and then, it's not very helpful. The online's not always up to date. They can be sold within 24 hours, 48 hours. The best thing to do to purchase a property is get on a plane and come to Spain and let us help you. Let
me give you an example, Aki, of what happens quite commonly. So, and this is all just about mindset and how people think about the market because of inexperience. So we'll get told quite often, if you can find me 6, 7 or 8 properties that I really like, I'll then arrange to come out. Doesn't work like that. You will never be successful trying to do it that way, because the problem is as Lisa said, the market is moving so quickly. Unless you can jump on the plane that evening and be there in the morning, which, let's be honest, if we're working, not many people can. If there's any kind of time delay in that, probably 5 of them would have sold by the time you even land on Spanish soil. The best thing to do is to put yourself in the hands of a professional. Give us a property brief. Tell us what you want. We'll tell you whether it's realistic or not. We've got no reason to tell you it is when it isn't, or vice versa. If the property brief's realistic, we will put together a full portfolio, but you just need to get out here and put yourself in the hands of us. Because trying to buy this and trying to do something, as Lisa said, unless you can put it in a basket, those are the people who just end up kind of failing. Just going back as well, Aki, just one point on the mortgages, we kind of moved on a little bit before. I just wanted to say something. More and more people are starting to use Spanish mortgages now. So
yeah,
if you went back 3 years ago, we could literally count on one hand out of the dozens upon dozens of property we sold every year. We could literally count on one hand the amount of people who took a Spanish mortgage to buy a property. Now that's starting to flip, and to be honest, it needs to flip because people need to think about this slightly differently. When we mention the word mortgage, sometimes people glaze over and think, oh, mortgages. What you've got to bear in mind in Spain, the interest rates in Spain are much lower than they are in the UK, and you can get a fixed rate for absolutely donkey's years here. The other issue is affordability wasn't what it was 3 years ago. So anybody coming out 3 years ago with 120,000 euros could probably walk away with something. 120,000 euros now should be really used as a deposit, topped up with a mortgage to actually buy something that is worthwhile buying. So people are now that the mortgage statistics are really starting to go up in Spain, and people really need to think about it slightly differently.
Okay, thank you. I think we need to fast forward to the next one. And yes, right. So next myth buster, myth or fact, people only move to Spain for the sunshine.
Myth.
Yeah.
I
There's loads of other stuff, isn't there, on offer?
I think that's the initial attraction for people. So the initial attraction is to get away from the weather. But once somebody kind of gets here and, you know, either spend a prolonged period of time here as in a holiday home or, you know, actually live here, they actually come to appreciate that it's got a hell of a lot more to offer than just the big yellow thing in the sky. So they actually, because of that big yellow thing, their lifestyle changes for the better. Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Lisa, when you went, ooh?
I find it an interesting question because people always ask me what I like, and I do love living in Spain, and I wouldn't want to go back to the UK. And they always ask me why. But every answer I've got does resolve around the weather. It does, because the weather, it's not just because it's sunny. And to be honest, it's getting hot at the minute, and I'm like, oh no, it's getting too hot. I've got to work. But the sunshine or the weather does so much for you. The sky is not grey when you wake up in the morning. I am not defrosting my car at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, 30% of the year like I was back in Manchester. The sunshine allows the family life, the time outside, the fact that you've not got to plan and prep a barbecue for 6 months in advance, and it's probably going to get rained off the day before anyway. Everything that I do over here is possible because of the weather.
Mm.
So it's one of them questions where, no, did I come to Spain just for the sunshine? No. Is Spain a great country to live in? It really is, because it's got so much to offer. But I think the sun plays such a big part of why it has so much to offer and what it can do for your mood, your mental health, your just life in general.
Yeah.
Even another thing, your as Lisa said there, your health. There's a lot of people live here of a certain age, Jackie. You know, we're all a bit too young for that. And, you know, they come and live here and they've had arthritic conditions in the UK. And some people within 6 months are off any medication because of the weather here. So so you're right, you know, we can have a different lifestyle, but it is kind of all down to the weather. So I think that's maybe half a myth, that one.
Yeah, maybe half a myth.
Now you're going to really cause havoc with the sound effects. All right. Well, I understand, guys, that you've had a bit of. Have you given the office a revamp? Is that right?
Yeah, we have. Everything's getting a revamp at the moment. I think it's because the sun's come out.
So what have you actually done to the office then?
So we've had the Finca office is our main hub, and that's been open for a long time, and then we opened Lasagna about 2 years ago, and that was obviously fresher, newer. So we've just basically refreshed La Finca to bring it up to par with Lasagna. Yeah, this is La Finca that you're seeing at the moment on video. So we opened La Finca's our oldest branch, or it's been there the longest. We opened Lasagna, I think it's coming up to 2 years ago now, over 2 years. So we've just brought La Finca up to date, give it a little bit of a facelift that I think it was needing a bit. Just
the
new
office looks great.
signage, nothing major, just some new signage, just to give it a bit of a tidy up, really.
We all need a bit of nip and tuck every now and again, don't we, Aki?
But it's
Correct.
turned out really well.
I
It
was going to
looks
say speak for yourself, but you're actually right. So. Yeah, it looks great, guys. And people watching this, you know what you need to do if you're in the area. If you get down there, book a viewing trip, go to the office. Meet everybody in there. It's a lovely, lovely plot there, and actually, right next to this is actually one of my favourite places in La Finca, which has become my little hidden gem. It's called the Corner Flag, and every time I come over and visit, I go straight in there because it's kind of like a bit of a hub over there, isn't it? So. The Corner Flag is going to be our hidden gem, or we're going to be calling it Spotlight on La Finca. And it's a place where everybody goes to meet up, isn't it, guys?
It's definitely the hub. It's definitely the I'd probably say the most popular bar, really, because it's got a bit for everybody. People coming on holiday, if you like a little bit of karaoke maybe, or you want to watch your favourite football match or rugby match. I don't know how, maybe this is just because I'm a Manchester family, but I can remember many holidays where I'm being dragged around by parents trying to find the most recent, or the football match that's on today. Are you playing this? Are you playing that? Or boxing fights as well. And they have it all here. It's lovely. It's run by a youngish family. We've got 2 young children who are over here in Spain who made the move. It's a great place to go. It's one of those places where we talked about before, cost of living being low. It's not going to break the bank having your tea out there or having a few beers in the evening.
Okay, well,
it's a good honest pub, Aki.
That's it. Well, it's a place where I'm coming over on May the 25th, and I'm going to definitely be ending up in there. That's for sure. Actually, I've got a question myself. This is a question. This is not in our schedule, but I'm coming May the 25th. My wife's worried there's not going to be enough for the kids to do. She's worried. We're coming over for a week. So how is there an itinerary we could plan? So a family coming over, or a family moving to Spain, but let's just say it's a family coming over for a viewing trip. Let's say they're coming over for a week to look at properties. They're bringing the kids. Is there enough to keep the kids occupied? Is there enough to do to plan a week?
Yeah. I've just spent a week in the UK, and it's actually really difficult to entertain children because I'm going to go back to it again because of the weather. So it really is. So, and it's more expensive to entertain them there. So here, you're going to be in a lovely villa by the sounds of it. That's got a lovely pool outside, which is pure entertainment for the children all day long, in and out of the pool. You've got beaches 10-15 minutes away if you fancy that beach day. You've got probably 2 or 3 water parks I can think of, all within a 15-20 minute drive. We have, what else do we do?
Crazy golf.
Got the crazy golf. We've got the go-karts. There's so much to do every single day. You might, if I was you in a week, I would plan 3 family days. That's it. In a week, 3 family days. You don't really, when you're on holiday as well, you don't always want to be on the move, especially when you've got a lovely pool at home.
Yeah.
Pick 3 out. Beach day, water park day, and something else, depending on what you like. Shopping. Does your wife like shopping, Aki?
Depends if she's got my credit card in her pocket or not.
Well, I'm assuming she will have. So
she probably will have. No, she will have.
So a day at lasagna. I mean, lasagna is brilliant as well. But even for the children, there's a bowling alley there. There's an arcade there. There's lots of parks all over lasagna. Water features, water fountains that my boys love to run in and out of. Even when we're on a shopping trip, it leaves me with soaking wet children all day. But it's there and they love it.
Yeah, and whilst I'm out there, guys, I will be making a little vlog of this brilliant villa, which is actually owned by Lisa's family, and it's called the Flintstones. I'll be making a little vlog out there, and that is now coming up for the rental market, so people can go out there and actually rent that villa out, and it's a beautiful villa. So I'll be doing a little vlog of that, and there'll be some very good offers coming your way. So make sure you look out for that and follow my Instagram. There'll be a link here, perhaps in the editing afterwards. For all that information. I'm looking forward to that trip. So have you got any viewing trips arranged at the minute? Are there people coming out as we speak? Is that all going well?
The market at this moment in time is unbelievable, like unbelievable. And this shouldn't scare people. And we're having this situation at the moment where people are feeling pressured. And all I can say to people is, if the market is busy, people are buying, which means people are investing in Spain, which is good. It means that people want that property. If they want it now, wouldn't you prefer a property to be desirable than when you want to come and sell it in the future? It's not. Prices are going up. So the market is really busy, but it shouldn't put people off. That should give them confidence in what they're doing. They're not the only person who's doing it, and everybody's looking at doing the same thing. Everybody wants their little piece of property in the sun. But we've been crazy since, I'd actually say since last September. It's got busier and busier and busier. And February and March are normally quiet months where we don't have particularly that many viewing trips. But January and February, I think, was full, and March, April. But we are now the 7th of May, and we're reserving properties on the daily basis at the moment.
Fantastic. Colin, have I missed anything? Is there anything that you want to mention? Maybe about the exhibition, maybe about anything we've touched on in this particular episode?
Just make sure you come and see us, folks. I would just echo what Lisa was saying there. I had some clients out last week, and it was quite interesting because we source properties from other agents as well. We collaborate with other agents, and on the day we were there was another 4 agents in the property that they wanted, and there was literally people following us in. I was coming out and just handing the keys over to other agents who were taking other people around, and it was quite an alien feeling for the clients, and they weren't too keen on that. But in the end, they understood the fact that, as Lisa said, if somewhere is desirable, it's desirable. And what I always say to anybody is if you're going to buy a property today, assume you're going to sell it tomorrow. And if you've got queues of people trying to buy it, then you're onto a winner.
Yeah.
So demand is good in this instance. Demand is good because it drives prices the right way. I mean, at the end of the day, anybody sat on a property since the credit crunch in 2009 in the UK will be sat on a massively more valuable house than they were then. So it's no different.
Yeah.
It's no different.
I think when the market's this busy, it's really difficult for us as agents, because sometimes, well, not sometimes, we do genuinely want the best interest for our clients when they come out. We want them to get the right property at the right time that fits into what they want to spend and what they want out of this property. We want to, but sometimes, like we've had another occasion recently when a client's come out and they felt the same pressure, and then they've literally gone to do the viewing and it's sold. And people sometimes think that's a sales technique, and it really isn't. It would be easier for us if it wasn't, because a lot of time and effort goes into resourcing these properties. And like touching on the question that we had before as well about should we be in Spain, these people have come over. It was available the day before. By the time they've gone to do the viewing at 11 o'clock, it's been reserved. So
that happens all the time as well.
Yeah, it happens all the time. What we're actually saying to people at this moment in time is, if you really want to do it, if this is something that you are able to do at this moment in time, i.e. you are able to move over or you are able to get the funds, invest now. That would be my bit of advice. Invest now, not in 12 months' time, because the prices are not going anywhere at this moment in time, but up. I am very confident with that. Can anyone say anything for the rest of the future? No. But where we are at this moment in time, in the next 12 months, so if you're nearly there, try and get a bit closer so you can get that property within your budget. Would you agree with that, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, people's biggest barrier is often themselves. And unfortunately, a lot of people just constantly stay in research mode, and they're just constantly researching. For us, if you have the money and you're able to buy something now that is within your budget, If you wait much longer, 12 months, etc., the chances are that that will then be outside of your budget based on how prices are going. So if you've got the money in the bank and you want to do something, just stop researching and just put yourself in the hands of a professional and just do it.
Great message to end on. Yeah, very, very important message. And well, that's actually all for today's episode. It's been really good. It's flown by. Don't forget to visit the Welcome Estates team at A Place in the Sun, the live event at the London Excel this weekend. Right? That's
we're
May
going to
the
do some
9th.
interviews. We're going to do some interviews in London as well. So if anybody's there and they want to
There
come
we go.
and have a chat with us, I think it's a Friday we'll be doing it. So if anyone's there on Friday, come and have a chat, and we can obviously. It's great for people to hear. We can tell you what we think the show's like, but I'm there as an agent. Wouldn't it be great to hear of some people who are actually there, experience it as a customer?
Absolutely.
We'll have the microphones, Aki. We'll be ready.
I'm sure you will be, guys. And any other information or anything that's arisen in the show today, you know what to do. You need to contact www.welcome-estates.com and all the answers will be there. Get in touch. Instagram, social media. It's all there for you. Well, guys, thanks again for another brilliant episode. Very informative. And I look forward to doing this again next week.
Thanks, everybody.